Hey guys, so this is the special episode that was promised that is dropping now. If you can just bear with us, there were a few connectivity issues in this episode, so there are moments where the sound will fade in and out, but they're very brief and there's just a few moments throughout the episode. Thanks, enjoy. Hey guys, it's your girl Booney, and you're listening to a bonus episode of the Booney Breakdown Podcast, your source for all things responsible and ratchet. All right. If you listen to Monday's episode, our normal episode 151, you heard that we were dropping 2 episodes this week because I had to have on the BFF, the homie KG, because politics is his thing. Sports and politics. Politics ain't my beast, so you got to bring in the experts.
You didn't go that far, but I'm here.
You could totally be a pundit.
I could, but listen.
You totally could do it.
Time. I mean, I spend most of my time doing that anyway, so I
you're my pundit. I get most of this shit from you because I'm fuck all this shit. I don't think we have explicitly talked politics on this podcast by design.
No, it just came up.
Yeah, I think it'll just be little things, but I felt like everyone keeps saying this is the greatest election or the most important election of our generation. So I feel like we had to do something, but I didn't want to overload my audience because I don't know how, we ain't never done no politics shit. So I'm not sure how y'all feel. So I figured we'd wait till after the VP debate and we can kind of discuss both in one shot. So initial reactions.
I mean, compared to the shit show that we had, a week ago? A week and a half ago, something like that. This was calm. This was normal. This was kind of what I expected, which I think, for me is kind of what I wanted. I wanted some, a quality conversation, even though, some of the topics, might have gone a con.
Some of them.
Off kilter, some people say. But I, compared to last week, this was night and day. So I'll take it.
I will say this. I have my immediate reaction was, how come the vice presidents get to sit down?
It tends to do that. And I think they have the choice.
Yeah, I remember that with Tim Kaine and
yeah.
Like, how come they get to sit down? Because you would think those old motherfuckers running for president would want to sit down, but
yeah. And I think Kamala wanted to stand up, but Pence requested.
Yeah, I was like, it has to be some type of strategy there, because I feel like she would want to exert herself. Like, I'm not a woman, but I'm a woman, but I'm not a woman.
Yeah, I think he knew she would have dug into his ass if.
Yeah, I think she'd have been more aggressive.
Yeah.
I think she'd have been more aggressive if they were standing up, honestly.
No, for sure.
I will say last week's debate was...
You can't even really describe it.
I don't even know what that was. It was just a waste of my fucking time. And when you think about that was last Tuesday, Monday? Was it last? Whatever it was. How much has happened since then? Like, the entire White House has COVID.
And which is I'm glad that we didn't do that one, because we would have been like, God damn, we got to record another.
Yeah, we would have to waste it. I'm glad we didn't. I'd have been pissed. And so now I'm going to knock this conspiracy theory out already before we start and get into substantive stuff. I was like, let me just knock this part out. Pence has COVID.
Yeah, his eye. I don't know what was going on there. It was either pink eye or something.
But pink eye, I Googled it. Pink eye is a primary symptom of COVID.
Is it really?
Yeah, I Googled because people were talking about it on Twitter. So I Googled it. Mm-hmm. And very credible medical sources stated that pink eye is one symptom of COVID. So I don't think it helps.
The goalposts for this shit change every week.
It does. I don't know what the fuck this disease is or virus is.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it changes every week. We're pushing.
I really do feel like the deciding factor in this election should only be COVID at this point, right? I mean, you couldn't have asked for anything I guess more of an October surprise than the administration who has denied, call it a hoax, it's not real, for the entire administration to catch COVID.
No, I mean seriously. Like, I think if you believe in God, you know that this is a sign from God. Like, there's no way, there's no rhyme or reason behind it. Like, we are, like she said, 27 days away from the election, and your whole administration, the whole White House, the staff, the security
Everybody
person, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of moving around, and you spent 8 months, 7 months basically denying the whole
denying it.
thing.
I mean, it is such a poetic justice that I've never seen delivered in Lifetime like this. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And I want to say she came out the gate very strong with saying this administration forfeited the right to the election and this was the greatest failure of an administration ever.
Yeah.
And
I mean, from a debate standpoint, it obviously set her up early. I wish they would have kind of layered that in a little bit, towards the middle, because I feel like that was a win for her. Like, there's nothing really that he could say. There's nothing that he could kind of come back and be like, yeah, well, no, this is this and this. Nah, your president is on tape. We have the facts.
We heard it, nigga.
Yeah. We have the numbers. You basically questioned your health professionals for the past 5 months. You use this as more of a prop to be able to get up and speak to the American people every day when you weren't actually doing anything. Like, you started the destruction of your campaign by getting up every day on TV talking about this way you're doing nothing.
That seems like years ago that they were doing these briefings. Like, good God, this year is so long. And I think too, what Kamala did very well was putting the response into everyday layman's terms. She brought up how everybody was acting over the motherfucking toilet paper. Like, toilet paper was scarce.
Exactly.
You mentioned, all the loved ones lost. You go into the funerals. Like, I'm like, that was whoever wrote that line for her, kudos to you, because I thought that drilled home for me, because I'm like, yeah, I was really out there looking for toilet paper. Like, it was
Like, I think, speaking as her, like, most people would have loved to have heard the truth earlier. Like, here's the thing. Most people on our side, and I'm not going to, liberals, if you want to say, we took this shit seriously from the beginning. But I think from a national standpoint, the entire base would have benefited from hearing the truth. And you sugarcoated it and kind of bullshitted around the entire concept of COVID for still, like, until you got the shit.
And literally, and even still, the spin on him getting it, it's still kind of like, well, it's not that bad. Like, look, I survived and I'm good. I beat it. I feel better than I did 20 years ago. Like, this man is insane. And to me, it is wild that we're this far or this close to the election finally. First of all, I didn't think anything could beat the 2016 election with how exhausting it felt leading up to it. But this one takes the cake. But a lot. I just feel like I just want this to be over. I just want to go cast my ballot in person, because I'm not trusting that mail shit. I just want this to be over, honestly. And I just do not understand how we're this close to the election and there's still people who are undecided. Like, what the fuck are you undecided on? Like, what is there to decide? I don't get it.
So, I'm not going to get too much into the weeds of like the numbers and polls and things like that, but I think
you're a geek.
Well, whatever. I think the good thing that we can take from this election cycle is that the undecided percentages are low compared to 2016.
Okay.
So I don't want to, obviously, but I feel like it's around 4 to 6%, somewhere around there, when it was a little bit higher in 2016. So I think most people have determined and know clearly which way they're going. Like, it's not.
I honestly think, like, listening back and not showing any bias, I think Kamala walked away with the more sound bites that'll get shared than him. I think he got a few in there that Fox News will definitely run with.
Mm-hmm.
But I think overall, like, the greatest administration failure, you forfeited the right to re-election. She had another one about the vaccine. Like, if Donald Trump says take it, no, but if scientists do, sure.
Yeah, she has the gifts and she has the means. The goal, at least from my perspective, for him tonight was to kind of rein back in the losses that they were losing a lot of, like, your 60, 65 plus. Like, a lot of those voters, because of COVID, are like, hey, this is a shit show. We can't have this. We're dying. We can't see our families, all of this other stuff. So all of that kind of came into play. So if you see recent pollings and things like that, that age bracket, is normally like a, lock and step. He had that, and he's losing that base. So the key for us tonight was to kind of like rein that in and try to like bring back some level of normalcy. So
because I felt like he was just talking to the base, like.
Yeah, and that was his goal. Right. That was his goal. He didn't want to answer. So let's get this straight. He didn't answer one question tonight. And I'm not going to say, and I'm not going to be one of those people to say, oh yeah, Kamala answered every single question, because she did. And
she pivoted a few times too.
Yeah, she pivoted, which is fine. That's part of the debate. But he didn't answer one question the entire night.
He had a list of talking points that he had to ring out, and he did it. I will give him a kudos for skillfully bringing up the looting and the rioting. I thought I knew he had to say it, but he skillfully weaved that one in there.
So he did a really good job about that. I think they both, there was a point in the debate where he pivoted and focused back on her packing the Supreme Court. I thought that was well done. And then, she kind of came back about the federal judges and not having black judges. So I thought for them, that was, they played well. Both of them did very well in that whole pack. But neither one of them answered the question during that point, because that was not the talking point.
That was not the question.
That was not the talking point. I think you'll see, at least for me, I think you'll see when they do polling, probably in some of the swing states, probably this weekend, they'll probably do 4 or 5 days or whatever canvassing. I think you'll see a little bit of a bump, but I don't think it's enough
to make up lost ground.
To make up lost ground. And I think, like I said, a lot of people really don't, really are not like, hey, let's get into polling this year, because they think that the polling was so off, in 2016. It was off, but
yeah, because that's my thing. Like, I don't trust that shit. Like, I mean, even though I was one of those people who in 2016 said Trump was going to win, I did not think Hillary was going to win. I'm still not convinced that he's lost yet, which, even though I know you send me the polls every morning and I look at them, I'm still not convinced. I will not believe it until the election is called, because I don't trust it.
Yeah. And I don't think you should, but there's a lot in play that kind of that makes this different from 2016. So I think I think there's a lot more. There's male female aspect. You have, like, there's probably 6 or 7 things that happen, within the Clinton campaign that gave him, from Benghazi to emails to the
fucking emails,
hack to her calling them deplorables to the Comey letter.
Deplorable.
To the Comey letter 11 days before the election.
I could beat that nigga in his face. Yeah. I forgot about that, actually, the Comey letter.
All those things. People were looking for reasons to hate her.
Not vote for her, pretty much. And I know. Okay, let's go here, because this is not really a political thing. What is up right now with these black men who are, I don't want to say pandering to Trump. I don't know the word I'm really looking for, but we have these very high profile men in particular. And I think in the last election, it was like 13% of black men voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I think that number is going to be closer to 25% this time. Something ain't in the water ain't right. But you have people like Diddy talking about the vote is for sale. You got Ice Cube out here spilling bullshit. And then during the debate tonight, Scarface tweeted, I like Pence. He looks like a statesman. I'm not sold on black men showing up for like.
And you shouldn't be.
Yeah, I'm not sold.
So the Trump campaign has particularly targeted black men because, all right, let's, I don't want to demean us, but overall, black women are more level-headed and more intelligent when you get into the political game.
Okay.
Black men can be pandered to, as well as feel as if they will have a seat at the table if they're talked to.
I mean, he literally had an event and shout out Polo the Don. Like, when's the last time you fucking heard Polo the Don's name? First of all,
Yeah.
Let's start there. And it's like this great hip hop producer. Like, what the fuck am I like? I think I'm gonna side eye black men more than I'm gonna side eye white women, because I think the last time you were on the podcast, we were talking about how I don't trust the 53%.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's gonna be still around that number because they're really playing up the suburban fear. The niggas is coming to your neighborhood and lowering your property value, and they're gonna loot and burn everything down. But black men, I'm looking at y'all funny.
Yeah, so I personally, and this is just me, and I'm more optimistic, I feel like the Roe versus Wade debate weighs more within the white female community than the idea of possibly looters and things like that coming into your neighborhood, things like that.
Okay.
I think that one is a game changer, and I'm hopeful. So what were we at? 53%? Did we say?
Yeah,
was that 53%? Mm-hmm. So if you literally from a numbers game, you just need to drop the numbers down just a little bit.
So even if 49% go, we should be okay, is what you're trying to say?
You can get 50 and increase the turnout within other demographics, and you can make that up there.
Okay.
Plus, I think Trump is losing some older voters. I think we're going to see a trickle away from there. And I think the black turnout will be better this election.
So do you think the black turnout is going to be better because they're offering a few different ways to vote this time? Or do you think it's going to be better because they've engaged black people more in a different way? Because I do think I've seen kind of pandering on both sides, because then it was the stripper video where it was like, get your ass out and vote, which spectacularly responsible ratchet, but I've never seen anything done like that before.
No. And they did it on their own.
Yeah.
Which was, listen, I appreciate it. The DNC could never come up with anything that cool. Like, like they would never in their mind even think about something like that. When you say about black voters, I feel like the engagement is up. I think the drive from black women to push people to vote is up. I think the conversation is up. And I also think that though we may not, like, for people that are, you know, into the weeds and kind of pay attention to this stuff and are not really affected by ads and things like that, I think when you have ads that are popping up on your Facebook feed, on your Instagram feed, on TV about calling black men super predators, and tying that to a candidate, yes, that impacts your turnout.
Because now that you mention it, I have not seen one political ad.
Oh, that's good.
Like, now that you mention it, like on Instagram, Facebook. So I guess they realize, like, oh, we know how we're not wasting no money on nothing that she. But I can't even say I've seen a TV commercial. But I also don't watch a great amount of television. But
so I get a lot from like the senatorial campaigns because like I give money to them.
You donate money.
Yeah. So then they'll track me to other senatorial campaigns that are like within that same threshold and like want me to give money based off that. But yeah, I don't like today, you know, Trump announced that he's like cutting his ads in like Wisconsin, some like Rust Belt states. Like he's pulling back some of his ads. Like he's either hemorrhaging cash or something, or he knows something.
So, because my thought would be if he's not spending in Wisconsin, then he must know we lost it. So move the money somewhere else.
Okay, this is going to come back
to haunt you.
This may come back to haunt me. What day is this? This is
October 7th.
October the 7th. I personally think that Trump is going to get his ass handed to him on November 3rd. Like, I think it's going to be, think it may be one of the largest blowouts.
Here, you know what, Kenny? History. Here's my hope. I really do hope that it is a blowout. This does not drag out for weeks. I hope that it is enough votes that come in that night, but they're like, fuck it. We can call it now. We don't even got to count the rest of this shit.
Yes.
That is really my hope. I will say that you might, let's hope your streak continues, because on December 5th, 2019, 2020 is going to be the wildest year of our lifetime. And you were absolutely correct. So let's hope that your Negro Dama spirit holds true and you're absolutely correct, because this asshole has to go. Like, I can't even imagine if he won 4 more years, what could happen. Like, I
don't think you want to imagine that.
I can't even grasp it. And then part of me thinks, like, it's really two-sided. I don't think he likes being president. I think he likes the respect, air quotes, that the office gets, some of the perks that come with it, but he doesn't like the job of being president. But at the same time, he doesn't like to lose. And so I kind of feel like part of me is like, is he doing things to throw it? But he doesn't like to lose, so that doesn't make sense either. But this whole COVID shit, I couldn't figure out. I was definitely one of those people who truly believed that he did have it, because what made me really believe it was when he did go to the hospital, because he is about appearances and not wanting to be weak. Him going to the hospital, I know he wouldn't like that. So I'm like, okay, he really does have it. I do think they're lying about the severity of it, and covering it up the best that they can. But I just feel like, is he trying all these things to be like, please don't vote me in, but acting like he's campaigning?
So I don't think he, like you said, I don't think he wants to be president. I don't think he has any interest in being president. I don't think he has any interest in serving the audience. I feel like he's going to use this. He's going to go either buy OAN network, or I think that'll probably be the easiest way, just to kind of like filter his way in there. Because he's like, depends on the day if he's interested in Fox News. But I just feel like he's like that. That's the path. Like he just.
Yeah. And then can you imagine what he'll be like? Because all of the former presidents have lived pretty dignified lives afterwards. Can you imagine him as with the other group of former presidents? Like, will they accept him
I don't think he would come. Like I don't think
like
he.
what would he be doing? Because like I know their speaker, they charge speaker fees, they do all these speaking engagements. I mean, 43 has kind of laid pretty low, just be doing his paintings on his ranch, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Done.
I just can't even imagine how he even lives as a former president.
I don't see him. I don't see him conceding whenever the election is done.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely
see
not.
him. I don't see him or the first family or any of his cabinet attending the inauguration. I don't
Really?
see. I don't see any of that happening. I just like based off of everything he's shown us since 2015 in this political cycle. I don't think he has any interest in going through any of that. I
So
don't even
then
think he
my
wanted
thing
to do
is,
his own inauguration. To be honest with you.
I mean, no. I think it is going to eat him up too, because if this inauguration happens, the ladies that wear pink and green are going to flock to DC in a way that I don't think anyone can imagine.
That is
And
correct.
those inauguration pictures compared to his inauguration pictures are going to eat his skin. So you might be right that he probably wouldn't even show up. So then it's like, what does that even look like? Because when is the last time there's been an inauguration where the outgoing president didn't participate in these activities?
Yeah. So I'm not even that doesn't even bother me. I would prefer him not to be there, to be honest with you. I am more terrified about the fact that there's normally a smooth transition. Like when we talk about transition, we're talking about literally everything from the way that this government has ran. You want to move that over so that the next government is able to come in and kind of easily move in. They are going to have to start from
Everything's starting from
scratch.
scratch. Well, here's the thing. I will say this. It's not probably going to be complete scratch, because this is
Maybe
where
FBI, like
I'm like, this is where at the agency level, where having career folks really pays off for continuity.
that's the key.
And also, I think too, you I was trying to say this in a way that won't affect my 9 to 5.
That means don't say it.
Yes, that's why I stopped. But I also think too, it's like people don't really, one, most people in America don't even know how the government works, right? They don't even know the 3 branches of government. So let's start there. So these nitty gritty details of transference of government, most people have no idea how this works at each branch. I mean, at each agency, the cabinet level, et cetera, et cetera. So most people don't even know how that works. But it starts generally the day after the winner of the election is decided.
Yeah. Right? Normally, this year would be November 3rd. So November 4th,
transition
they would be meeting. Yeah.
Transition teams are put together. They're at almost every agency. Major agency has a transition team, and they start working to make sure government continues to flow. Yeah, I don't see that going well.
the only benefit that I see from and this is why I am like, this is the one thing that I'm thankful for that Joe Biden is the candidate, is that I think that he knows, like he's probably like he's already prepared everyone for the positions.
Yes,
they're
they
already
have their
ready.
teams. And that's the other thing I was going to say. All this shit, like some of the shit you do believe, like we don't really have a choice in any of this stuff. And why I do think he was pushed to be the person is because of that experience and the depth of his network to kind of build that out and parlay. Because they're really just going in to clean up shop to have a fresh start in 2024.
We got to get back to normal. Like
that's literally all they're like a trash team, a trash and recycle team is pretty much what they're going to be doing. And so I just look at, like, I remember November of 2016, and I was still recovering from surgery. It was very painful for me to get out of the bed at the time. And my mom was exhausted caring for me. And it's 1:00 in the morning, and they're still reading off the map. and I'm watching this motherfucking map turn red. And I'm getting sick. Like, but I was in so much pain, the remote was far away that I couldn't turn off the TV. So I was having to be like forced to watch this shit. I really, really do not want to feel that feeling again.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely remember because I'm working the polls, so I don't really kind of know what's going on. And I feel like you texted me at some point in time when I was leaving. You were like, he's going to win.
Yeah, I said it. I was like, he's going to win. Like, when you were just watching the map, I was like, this is over. Like, and then, but to literally watch it, I think it was finally around like 2 a.m. where I was like, okay, just get up out the bed. I know it hurts. Get the fucking remote because I can't watch this shit no more. And I struggled to get the remote. I don't want to feel that again. I hope that you're listening to this. You are registered to vote. If not, your apps for the last 2 fucking weeks have been beating your head.
Yeah, right.
Every single app on your phone has been beating your head to register to vote.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild because like these phones know what kind of porn I like. So y'all should know I'm registered to vote.
Yes. And
so please stop telling me this.
Pretty crazy that in 2020 that our phones are able to do all this, but we still have to go. And some states literally circle a bubble.
Literally, why can't we vote on our phone? I don't understand why this has not happened yet. Because at that point, okay. Also,
so here, yes, go ahead.
I would say also antiquated shit. Do you ever think really they will ever get rid of the Electoral College?
I think we have. I think we'll have statehood for Puerto Rico and DC before we ever get rid of the Electoral College.
Yeah, like I can't see those. That is the only way the GOP has any type of equivalency, I think is the word I want to say.
Yeah.
Because it's just not fair that California gets 2 and they have more people in that state than probably all of the states in the middle of the country. Yeah. And then those people get like 30 senators. Not fair.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see. I put that on my list of things I don't ever see changing, but that should change.
Yeah.
We might get student loan forgiveness before that.
Listen, I mean,
they got Biden to say it at that town hall.
He did. And
I'm gonna hold his ass to the fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the full boat, but I mean, we'll take whatever we can get at this point.
Just send me a check.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there are a lot of things in play with this election. And I think outside of Joe Biden and Donald Trump, like there are a lot of things that are in play that I think people need to focus on instead of focusing on the particular candidates. So you have HR 1 that, kind of ties in with the ability to, open up voting for more people. You want to, there's no reason that you shouldn't have automatic voter registration. You shouldn't.
I mean, seriously.
These things is 2020. We shouldn't have to go through all of this where, people have to have a witness for a mail-in ballot and all of this, wild shit when literally I have my cell phone here. I should be able, if I can get into my bank information and trust that that's okay, I should be able to be able to.
Someone said before, we literally can submit our taxes electronically.
There you go.
So exactly. Why can't we vote? I just don't, all of the brilliant minds at Google and I sat here and watched a documentary about how these niggas built out social media to make me want the things I don't even want. And we cannot build a secure election system.
and that's where, obviously, I mean, hopefully, the lovely listeners of the Booney Breakdown podcast are not the hoteps that are choosing.
We love hoteps here.
Oh, do we? Okay, yes. Sorry, the lovely hoteps that are choosing.
We love some types of hoteps
that are saying that there's no benefit in voting and all that other bullshit. There's so many things in play from healthcare to voting rights to abortion rights to like it's just so much that is outside of just a particular, hey, I don't know about Joe Biden as this person. Who gives a fuck at this point? Excuse me, language, but like
can't even cuss.
I know. Sorry. Like like who cares? Like who cares?
I mean,
Like
it literally is who fucking cares. I
yeah.
mean, I literally was saying, I've been engaged in discourse with a hotep who was explaining to me their rationale for not voting. I don't agree with it, but I appreciated some of the stances that they took because it wasn't just this wasn't bullshit. I guess to me it was something that they had a belief system in. And I wish I could see my face. But again, I do not believe in it and I will still be voting. But people who just like, I don't vote because I don't. I'm also happy to see so many. Okay, I did kind of not bash, but I went in on black men. I will also have been seeing black men like Tyler the Creator and a few others who are like this is their first time ever voting. So there's the flip side of the coin there. So hopefully those numbers outweigh those black men who may turn up for Mr. Trump. But
I think there's the youth vote this year could be drastic.
I think
and
so.
I hope so.
I think that's where the opportunity is because, and I hate saying this, but I say this in so many areas of life, because old people show up for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
We cater to them,
mm-hmm.
right? And they lead these discussions. And case in point, why Congress is so fucking old, why we have two fucking elderly ass men running for president. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, old people show up so they still get to run shit and make decisions for us, which is bullshit. So I'm hoping too that younger folk, because we starting to get to middle age, sir. Oh, which is so disgusting.
I mean, to be honest with you, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, like, in my hope is that that age range of like 18 to 24, 18 to 25, like that age range really cares about climate change.
Yeah.
Like our age range, yeah, we kind of care about it, but I don't think it is like we're not thinking like, about it as much. Yeah, like we're not thinking about it as much. But that group, like climate change really matters. Yeah. And, you know, to get back to the debate, like he, you know, Mike Pence would not go into specifics if he thought that climate change was real. It was a layup question.
Yes, he would not. The climate is changing.
Yeah, like he would not answer it. Donald Trump, a couple of weeks ago, when in California watching the shit burn in the fucking flames, is like, yeah, no, it's gonna get cooler. Cool. Cool, got it.
Because like, I think it's just like, how does California still exist at this point? Every year, like millions of acres burn every year.
And it's gonna get worse. Like the people on, like they did a whole thing on 60 Minutes last week, literally said that like every part of California is going to burn.
Yeah, at some point in time. I don't know. I mean, California is amazing. The weather is dope. The ocean is cold, but I don't know why you want to live there. Either you're going to fucking break off with the earthquake eventually, or the shit is going to burn up. Yeah. But yeah, I'm like, how is there any California left? Because the shit is on fire every fucking year.
Yeah. So like, I mean, to them, and honestly, what should be to us as well, is like this shit is literally life or death. And I think people like take that for granted. But like the earth is burning. Like it is dying. And
I think it's weird because it's like we always see those doomsday movies.
Yeah.
And people not understanding that could potentially be a possibility.
It could potentially happen.
So yeah, I even said like, y'all can fucking throw me in flames right now. I don't recycle, but Jesus. I said I was going to start.
mercy.
It's all
I'll
baby
come to
steps.
your house and pick the stuff up. Lord have mercy.
I mean, you've been to my house. You know I don't recycle.
I know, but still.
I mean, I know, and it's terrible. So I said I was going to start. That was one of my Q4 changes, that I was going to start recycling.
There you go.
Yeah. Doing my part.
Do something. Do something. I mean, at least, Baltimore got rid of the styrofoam, so, you can't.
Well, look, right now it's hard to recycle because they're not picking it up. That might be difficult.
You wouldn't like that.
I'm in that weird.
Mine gets picked up every Friday.
So maybe that's when my day is too. I gotta check since I have both options. But yeah, that is on my list of things to do. I'm gonna do my part for the environment.
There you go.
And recycle.
There you go. And vote.
I'm telling you, people in the hood don't recycle. I know this is so terrible, but I thought that was white people shit. And I'm currently learning that it's a people problem.
It is a people problem. And
we used to get, we went to the same school. I don't know if they did it at the boys' school, but we used to get like points or demerits if we didn't recycle. Like if somebody caught us like putting paper in trash and not the recycle bin, you got like a demerit or some shit.
I remember that. Now, I will say, like, I'm not like fully focused on recycling like every single thing, but if like a newspaper comes or something like that, I'll put that in recycling, jugs and bottles and stuff
I'll
like
start
that.
with plastics and paper.
Yeah.
I also bought a few grocery store bags.
Yeah, see, I haven't went that far. Give me my
plastics.
It's
so hard because it's like I have to take them out the car and bring them in the house, put them back in the car. It's just too much.
I need my plastics for the house. So,
what
am I supposed to use for trash bags?
I'm recycling a Trader Joe's brown bag to hold my Wegmans plastic bags.
So, listen, I need my plastic bags so that I can put the trash in when I don't want to use a whole trash bag. It
sounds like a win to me.
Listen.
All right, Mr. Moore, I'm going to let you get the final word out to the people. This is your election 2020 plea.
Vote in person if you can. If your health allows it, vote in person. Get out there and make sure it's done. If you cannot vote in person, vote by mail and vote early. When you can get your ballot, get it done the same day. If you need a witness, do that. Triple check. Put it back here. Need because they are looking for a reason to throw away your ballot. If you are in the state of Florida and you happen to be listening to this podcast, your vote matters a lot. If Florida can come out early and say that the Democrats have won, that's going to start the trickle effect for the night. Because a lot of states are not going to be able to start tabulating their mail-in ballots until after the election polls close. Florida is one of the lovely states that are actually going to be able to start tabulating theirs beforehand, so we should be able to get a gauge on early. So if you're in Florida and you're out there, definitely vote. Vote early if you can, and get everybody that you know to vote too. So that's me.
Well, look at that. I didn't even know that about Florida, so I learned something new. I'm going to say, if I seen your ass smoking hookah, if I seen your ass on a plane, if I seen your ass in Target, your ass needs to be in line and voting in person. I do not trust this mail shit. Because y'all acting like the pandemic over. So go ahead and get your ass in line. Do early voting. You can knock it out the way quick. I will be doing early voting when my state starts in a couple weeks, and get it out the way. Also, my state does not matter in the election. So if you live in the 7 states that will decide the election, please be sure to go vote. And I'm going to tell you who the fuck to vote for. Biden, Harris at the Booney Breakdown. We're not leaving nothing to ambiguity over here. And just in case you listen to this whole entire thing and you were still unsure, it is Biden, Harris here. So.
Here we go. One more thing, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
There are a few senatorial campaigns that for people that are interested, that I think $5, $10, $2, whatever the case may be. Reverend Warnock down in Georgia, Jamie Harrison, South Carolina. We have the ability to also swing the Senate this year as well. I think it's very possible, but it takes work. So if you can, get involved with those campaigns as well. And after you vote, if you can, or if you find a way, become a poll watcher, because these people
are poll watchers paid?
No.
Oh. I didn't know.
But you might get a stipend at the end of the day if they really want to be nice, but that's really, day up type stuff.
That's their discretion.
Yeah. But there is going to be a lot of intimidation at the polls, especially in those, for our people that are in Pennsylvania.
We've already seen it in Virginia. So
yeah. For our people, that might be in Pennsylvania that is very limited early voting, that is going to be a lot of same day voting on November 3rd. If you have the ability to kind of get out there, even if you are just volunteering to go out there and just make sure that no ruckus is kind of going on, all of this helps, because there's a lot of crazy people out there. And yeah, they're not with the shits, and they need some people to kind of step back to them. So,
well, there you go.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, that was it for this bonus episode of the Boonie Breakdown podcast. Again, we want you to get out there. Make sure you can register to vote. It's some deadlines coming up this week, so do not miss out if you're in those states. And be sure, like we said, to go and vote in person. And if you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or any app that you listen to your favorite podcast on. You can leave some reviews. I'm not going to do my whole spiel this time, but follow us on social media. Share the episode with those you love, those you don't love, those you fucking hate. We don't make these pretty images for nothing. Have a dope ass week. Stay safe, healthy, and sane. Please, please, please register to vote. Thank you for listening. And remember, the ratchet in me always honors the ratchet in you.
The ratchet in you.
Hey, look at you. Bye.